You, my friend, have been absolutely lied to. Lied to. Sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally, and sometimes you even lie to yourself. What am I talking about? Let's get into it. I was having a conversation with some friends the other day, and you know the typical thing that adults do? Well, that's just how it works. That's just how I do it. That's just how I process information. And I kind of had to blow someone's mind and put a break to that and be like, no. One of the most controlling things that has ever been taught to us as human beings is that is just how I do it. That's how you do it now. You can always change it. And it's up to you. If you want to change, cool. If you don't, cool. But my thought is always, why? And you heard me say this many times in this channel. Why are you fighting for something about yourself that does not serve you? Especially when 9 times out of 10, that thing you're fighting for has been learned and is not really you. It's what you chose to accept. What do I mean by this? Here's one that still blows my mind to this day. People say, well, I'm a visual learner. No, you're not. Everybody can learn every particular way as possible because I guarantee you, I could blindfold you and give you 3 different substances to taste, and you could pick which one is which. And later on, I could just have you smell them and you would know which one is the correct one and eat the correct one. Your brain has crazy modalities. It will learn whatever it needs to learn. So the first thing we need to do is get rid of this thought of that's just how I process information. Everybody's brain processes information the same way. At first, you start out with a thick forest and you're going to do a new task. And let's just talk about content creation in general, and we'll pick editing because this is one that everybody still fights with. When you first start to edit the video, you roll up to a thick forest and you have no idea how to get from point A to point B. But then you create more content, you edit more videos, you use the same software over and over again. And what happens is you begin to build a trail between point A and point B. And then the more you do it, that trail gets worn down and it becomes a clearer pathway. And then the more you do it, that pathway becomes sort of like a bike lane. And eventually you end up with a freeway. You go from trail to pathway to bikeway to dirt road to freeway, the more reps you put in doing a particular task. Now, some of you guys have a skill that you are so proficient at, you could do it dang near blindfolded, and that would be one of them. That's things like playing the piano, that's things like singing, that's things like speaking multiple languages, writing code, doing whatever it is you do that pops your socks. But every time you roll up on a new task, you approach it as if it's impossible to get to that freeway mode. But you have that freeway mode. Sadly enough, some of us have developed that freeway mode for making excuses as to why we can't succeed, for blaming other people for why we can't get what we got. And it's easy because society teaches us that, because it just takes the threat out of you. If I can remove you as a threat, I can succeed better myself. A lot of people think that way. They don't even know they think that way. That's just how they're raised. And so they think that way, not necessarily to be malicious. That's just the way that they were told. However, any given moment, you can change this. Any given moment, you could take a piano and sit down and start playing scales until you get to pentatonic scales and melodic scales. And next thing you know, you're throwing up some solemn music with a D minor 7 and learning music theory and the whole 9. All things are learnable. I need you to hear that super, 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 super clear. All things are learnable. All things are figure outable. Whatever it is that you're struggling with right now, the very first step is to start a brand new pathway in your brain of telling yourself that you can do it. But if you keep fighting for your limitations, you will win every time. If you keep fighting for your limitations, you will lose every time. If you keep fighting for your limitations, you'll lose every time. It is what it is. You have to set yourself up for a win. You got to tell your brain, yes, you got this. Yes, you can do it. And just understand you got to do it a little bit at a time. You're going to start out with slipping in the darkness, but slowly but surely you'll add light. It's the reason why headlights only work for like 150 to 200 feet. It's the same process. More of the road reveals itself the more you drive. I really don't know who needed to hear this. Well, except folks I was talking to yesterday. But if it was you, write that down in the comment section below. Also, what's that one skill that you have that you can literally just do almost second nature? Which skill do you have that is your freeway? It might be cooking. It might be folding laundry. It could be whatever. You have one. Everybody has one. Unfortunately, again, so many people have making excuses and selling themselves short and not putting in the work to get where they really want to go. Right about now, the algorithm is going to show you another video they think you should watch, and I agree with them.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk.